Hey amazing hackers, this episode is sponsored by the Cybersecurity Hat, the ultimate hacking platform where you can learn in a fun and a practical way using exclusive frameworks that unlock amazing possibilities. In the description of this video, you will find all details for my special code on the Cybersecurity Hacked products. Just use R19 at checkout and enjoy. Everyone, and welcome to R19.0 podcast. Welcome to Hackers Behind the Code. This is the season 2, and we are starting 2026 exactly the way we believe it should start, with real stories, real experience, and with real people who shape this industry from the inside. Like I said before, Hackers Behind the Code is not about the hype. It's not about buzzwords. It's about the mindset, the failures, the researcher, and the journey behind the offensive security, red teaming, and the cybersecurity as a whole. And for the first episode of the new season, I could think start better off my fucking guest. Today I'm joined by Filipi Pires. Filipi is okay. Let me see if I don't forget anything here. Filipi is head of identity, threat labs, and the global product advocate at Segura. He is security researcher, head teamer, advisor, investor, and community leader. He's spoken at Black Hat, DEFCON, besides, and many another of the most respected security conferences around the world. He's deeply involved in Red Team Village, besides Porto, that was recently, and multiple global security initiatives, always pushing, researching, community, and real world offensive security forward. Philip, welcome to the Hackers Behind the Code. It's really great to have you here today. I really appreciate your time. And please say something for our hackers.
Hey man, it's nice to be here. Finally, we got this time. We tried to
Yeah.
to, to organize this. We didn't get to do before because you was a very busy guy, and I'm busy as well sometimes.
Yeah.
So we have
Yeah,
some
for
things,
sure.
but now we got this, and which is cool. Thank you again for having me here. It's a pleasure to participate at the podcast, and I'm super excited to talk about hacking things. Like as you said, hacking is more like it's a mindset. And by the way, one of the products that I really believe is the one product that's called hacking is not a crime, because
Mm-hmm.
it's started in the US, by the way, and that's the idea behind this name hacking. I was teaching yesterday and today, by the way, in some courses here in Portugal, and a master degree as
Mm-hmm.
well in different organizations. And I was explaining to the guys how this hacker things works. So how you can use in the creative mindset. It's different about criminal things
Mm-hmm.
or threat actors,
Yeah.
and I'm super happy to be here to talk more about those stuffs.
Yeah, let's go. And I'd like to start these conversations by going a bit behind the title, behind the talks, and behind many another things. And sometimes people just see the results, but they don't always see the journey. So
Hmm.
let me start with the simple. You have been in cybersecurity for more than 15 years, okay, if I'm not making mistakes here, working across infrastructure, offensive security, researcher, and leadership roles. Looking back
Hmm.
now, what originally pulled you into cybersecurity, and more specifically into offensive security side?
Okay, good question. So I recorded another podcast, and I like to mention that this podcast, which is from Barcode Company in US, and
Mm-hmm.
which was by Chris, was super cool because the name of the podcast was The Chosen One, and that's the reason that I start in cyber and the hacking stuffs, because I didn't decide to like I need to go to the cyber, but the cyber chose me. That's the real answer
Mm-hmm.
about that question. Because
Mm-hmm.
as you said, so I have an experience in almost 20, 15 years in technology, not exactly in cyber, but in technology, because I was
Mm-hmm.
working at Dell Computer at that time. I was graduating in process management, which is sales. It's not exactly technical things. And but in 2015, and I started to work in cyber. That was I was working at Trem Micro, which is a company responsible
Mm-hmm.
for selling, like
Mm-hmm.
antivirals, IDRs right now, and
Yeah.
other type of solutions. And
Mm-hmm.
by basically at that time, I was responsible for being a sales engineer guy, which is a technical guy for sales. I was responsible for doing presentations and demos and organizing POC, which is proof of concept. And I remember at that time I needed to convince my customer that the product was really good. So the question is how I can prove that the defensive product is good during the POC. So I should receive or my customer or prospect should receive an attack during the POC to convince the customer that the product is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
how you can manage that. So I remember that time, 2015. So the guys came to me and they said, Filipi, what do you do during the POC in terms of antivirus? How you can protect? You will talk with your friends. They will try hacking us. And I said, no, man. So we try to protect you. So and that time, so I thought, okay, how I can convince. So based on that, I start this journey in the offensive security because that was the question. And based on that, I started to study by myself. Basically, that was the decision. So I needed to understand how the attacker think. And I remember exactly in that time, 2027, which is the time
Mm-hmm.
that happened the famous attack in the world, which was WannaCry,
Mm-hmm.
and using, by the
Yeah.
way, the Eternal Blue from the Shadow Brokers, Eternal Remnants,
Mm-hmm.
and based on that, I decided to create in the proper offensive lab and the defensive lab. So that was the reason that I started to grow my journey in offensive security. So based on that, I
Yeah.
started to learn how the things
That's
works.
That's really interesting. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I really stand out in your work today is your focus on identity and
Mm-hmm.
cloud threats. We heard a lot of buzzwords around identity. It's a new perimeter, but
Mm-hmm.
you actually research and see these attacks happening in real environments
Mm-hmm.
because like you said you work at when you needed to show POCs uh, that's different. So let's go deeper into that. Please let me know a little bit about.
That's interesting about the when you talk about identity because like as you said, sometimes the market they using this kind of different buzzwords. Sometimes it's
Mm-hmm.
really buzzword, and but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's not exactly a buzzword. But because of the marketing stuff, so let me put in double quotes here.
Mm-hmm.
The hackers guy they put in those words in has a buzzword, and
Mm-hmm.
because let me go back to 2007, which is the WannaCry that what happened. This is the big
Mm-hmm.
attack that happened. So why the WannaCry happened? Because the attacker combined two different things. I mean, three different things. One is an exploit that explore the MES
Mm-hmm.
70 wherever, something like this, and the
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft from the SMB
Mm-hmm.
protocol. They explore this
Mm-hmm.
sharing. So they combine the exploit with Trojan, which is when infected a machine, and the worm concept that replicate many copies of
Mm-hmm.
their self infect, and they use in
Mm-hmm.
another category of malware, which is the ransomware, that's
Mm-hmm.
encrypted the victim and machine. But if you think about identity, so once they receive the let's say the sample, I mean the Trojan or the malware or the
Mm-hmm.
exploit, the user
Mm-hmm.
and this machine they need to have a permission. In this case,
Mm-hmm.
administration
Yeah.
permission, which is one specifically single identity. So
Yeah.
based on that, they explore the sharing, the SMB protocol, which is
Mm-hmm.
the possibility to share it to another colleagues, which is another guy here. So we have a two different identity here. One is like me, and you are like is you. So we talk about two different identities and two different permissions, which is the same because they spread between two different
Yeah,
machines using the
exactly.
SMB. So in the end of the day, I mean, 17, which like we are talking about 18 years ago. So
Mm-hmm.
we are talking about identity, but in that time we didn't talk about identity. It's just to talk
Mm-hmm.
about administrator access, but it was identity
Yep.
in the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the
Yep.
point. Nowadays, at that time we talk about firewall was the perimeter, but now
Yeah.
identity is the perimeter. But when you talk
Mm-hmm.
about cloud, so it's different because every people work remotely. Like you are in the south of Portugal and I'm in the
Mm-hmm.
north. So we are
Yeah.
doing this conversation in two different locations. So
Mm-hmm.
in terms of cloud, it's like similar in double quotes like this. We can be in different locations. So we need to give this kind of permissions to different identities to access different resources in the cloud. So in terms of, in the end of the day, in terms of attack perspective, I need to just get the access to a specifically identity. In this case, can be a human identity, which is Filipi Pires or Milton
Mm-hmm.
Araújo, for example. You need to have the
Mm-hmm.
password and the username. But in
Yeah.
terms of no human identity, we just need to have the access key, which
Mm-hmm.
is no human identity, which is machine identity. So that's
Yeah.
the key. In the end of the day, for example, I just need to understand what is exactly real identity in terms of machine identity or no human or no machine identity in this case. So actually, the marketing moving, they use another name. For example, in the past, we just have a hacker, but nowadays we have
Mm-hmm.
an, for example, we have a pen testing, we have a red
Mm-hmm.
team, we have a blue team, we have an AppSec team, we have a many color teams. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Purple
Like
team, white team,
exactly,
and yeah.
exactly, green team, whatever, or the
Yeah.
whole bunch of colors. But the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, it's just about that. I need to think I need to have this hacker mindset, and when I understand the whole things, how this works in terms of communications, networking, protocols, and when I understand that, I can using my creative mindset in terms of offensive security to explore those type of
Mm-hmm.
things. It's just simple like this. So I was talking with the students this morning, by the way, about that. And I said to
Mm-hmm.
them, and I was explaining about the WannaCry attack, and they said, "Oh, how this works is because the Microsoft published the
Mm-hmm.
vulnerability in March, but the attack happened in May, two months after, and the patch,
Mm-hmm.
what was another attack happened in June, which was in 4 months. So how it's possible? Why they didn't update?" And I said to them, "Pick up your cell phone right now, motherfuckers." And they pick up
Yeah.
the cell phone and ask them, "So did you see how much apps you need to update?" And they said, "Okay,
Yeah.
100." Another said 20. Another said 50. And I said, you cannot manage your cell phone. Imagine the company. So
Yeah.
that's the key in the end of the day.
And you can imagine it thousands of devices
Exactly.
to manage it. Exactly.
Hmm.
That's really interesting sight. And this transition to Red Team, you have also spent years deeply involved in Red Teaming, not just technically, let's say, but also at community level,
Hmm.
like Red Team Village conference, mentoring, building spaces where people can learn
Hmm.
and share real trade craft. Um, I want to explore that side of your work as well. Please let me know the side.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, in 2020, actually was pandemic, and that
Mm-hmm.
time I decided, okay, so I think it's a real opportunity for me to participate in different conferences that I never could be participating as a speaker because I don't have a money to pay tickets, flights, and a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So in that time, I decided, okay, there are a bunch of virtual conference. So I decided to
Mm-hmm.
starting submit talks. They using the term call for paper, and I decided to submit a
Mm-hmm.
call for paper for that conference. And based on that, I met those guys from the Red Team Village. If you're not familiar with that and you are watching now, us, so Red Team Village is one of the most famous and respectful
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
village at DEF CON.
for
And
sure, for
during
sure.
the event, you can see 10,000 people walking through the village.
Yeah, a
It's
lot of
big.
people there.
Yeah, the line and the best was super huge. This year was this year, no, last year, 2025 was different because they put in the open space so we can see many people walking around. Was super cool. But usually to watch a
Mm-hmm.
talk is at the Red Team Village. It's very complicated because it's very crowded during the conference. In fact, so I submitted the first talk in 2020, and based on that, I participate in every single year as a speaker. And based on that, I was, I'm a Brazilian guy, you know how this works, so I'm very armed
Yeah.
with the guys, and I met one of the founders of the village, which is Omar Santos. He's a
Mm-hmm.
great guy. It's an amazing guy, and I always, when I was there, virtually, I just talk with the guys. And sometimes they had another virtual conference. I submitted other talks. And 2023 was the time that I went to the conference at the first time in person. So
Mm-hmm.
that time was the opportunity to meet Omar in person, which was very cool. We went to the Fogo de Chão barbecue steakhouse. We spent a lot of time
Yeah, I
talking
love
and
it.
and
I love it.
chatting. And based on that, I created this relationship with this guy, not only Omar but the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
And the last in 2024, 2 years ago, they invited me to participate as a part of the core team, to be one of the members of the core team. And last year they have elections. They
Mm-hmm.
suggesting some people to participate and to be a director of some
Mm-hmm.
initiative inside of the village. And by the way, it's a non-profit initiative, or which is it's a community, driving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So no one's receiving any payment for that. We just be there for giving this kind of culture in terms of red team, in terms of offensive security, how you can bring new ideas, new technology, not technology, but new attacks, new techniques, or sharing our learnings during the year.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, they indicate me to be one of the directors of. First, they indicate me to be one of the director of a training, and I said, "Man,
Okay.
it's a big honor. I'm not the
Yeah.
guy. We had another guy, which is Corey, and my vote was for Corey, but I was indicated, so I was super,
Mm-hmm.
honored with that. But after the election, they came to me again and said, "Man, you need to be one of our directors." So they indicate me to be a director of sponsors. So based on that, I accepted, and since last year, I'm part of the director team, and I'm involved with that. So basically, I'm responsible for getting sponsors for the village, and not only that, but keeping doing talks during the event. And by the way, in January
Mm-hmm.
21, January, no, sorry, February 21, at the YouTube channel at the Red Team Village, I will be speaking. I will be doing the same talk that I did at DEFCON last year. So if you are watching right now, you missed my talk there in person.
Yeah.
We will not record it.
That's
They will be,
available on
yeah,
YouTube.
will
Yeah.
be presented at 21. We have this event RTV Overflow, so we have some speakers speaking during this day,
Okay,
this specific
sure.
day.
That's really interesting career. Let's say this transition to community. Something that I really respect about your journey is how much you give back to the community, organizing events, supporting new speakers, advising, teaching. This takes time and energy. I know that because I really know what is this. I feel this every single day, and this often it's unfortunately it's invisible work.
Hmm.
And let's talk about why that matters to you.
Yeah, good point. And when I started in this field in 2015 at Trend Micro,
Mm-hmm.
I have one friend of mine, which is Igor. The name, the nickname is,
Mm-hmm.
we call that time Lobinho. It's like a little wolf, and in English. And they came to me. He's very younger than me, and he came to me
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "Man, you need to be involved with community." In Brazil, we have a very famous event, but called Hacker to Hackers.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, last year was the first year that we brought guys from, not last year, 2024. We brought 4 guys from DEFCON to this event, the Red Team Village. It was
Okay.
very crazy because it's never happened. but I brought those guys to participate in this event. And Igor came to me and he said, "Man, you need to be involved with the community because you can learn from them." And based on that, I
Mm-hmm.
was being involved, and of course I was learning, I was growing in terms of knowledgement. Of course I need to learn more, and I'm just in the beginning, and I just completed 40 years few days ago, and I just have a 40 years, so I have my journeys this long, and I need to improve my knowledgement. But I knew that I need to be involved with the community, and of course when you have this shift with the community, we can
Mm-hmm.
learn even if you teach. So, and of course, as you said, it's always, let's say, um, it's not visible for many people
Yeah,
because you need to spend time.
fortunately.
You need to spend time, like be involved. For example, at B-Sides, I have my T-shirt from B-Sides Sport here
Yeah.
with me. And
Me too. Me too. Me
yeah,
too.
yeah, this is for Lisbon. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's by the way,
exactly.
it's this we have a two editions here in Portugal. If you are watching now here, so I recommend you to participate in both events. It's very cool events. One is Lisbon, another is
Mm-hmm.
in Porto, and yeah. So basically, the activities that I did with the communities is based on that. Like to
Mm-hmm.
try to give again the community, to give back everything that I received to the community. And as you said, as many times it's invisible, and but again, I doesn't care about how some
Yeah.
people say some bad words. Sometimes they say bad words, like in terms of community, other things, but I doesn't care about that. Yeah, I don't give a
Yeah,
fuck about
yeah,
that.
that's really interesting. And okay, let's try to talk about the transition to the future and advise as we start a new year and the new season here of this podcast. I think it's also the perfect moment, okay, to talk about the future. It's not predictions, but okay, perspectives
Hmm.
based on everything you have seen so far. I'd love to hear you, okay, thoughts on what's coming next, and what really matters for people building their careers today. I think that's really interesting to know about that.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I would divide in two ways. Actually, one is about
Mm-hmm.
career perspective, and other is about threads. And again, just my thoughts in terms of the thing that I'm seeing in the previous event. As I said, I was participating last year at DEF CON as a speaker, Black Hat, and in the US, Black Hat in Middle East, which is completely different, two different countries, different culture. And
Mm-hmm.
but the things that I saw was like in terms of threat, and I didn't see many things about zero day, for example. I just see many things about exploring vulnerabilities, and mainly the threat actors, they are buying access, which
Mm-hmm.
is identity. They are buying access
Yeah.
because it's more cheaper than creating 0 days or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the bypass basically is based on creativity. So that's the things that I'm seeing for the future. Of course, many companies are putting AI, which we know that sometimes they can be very good for helping. Sometimes they can
Mm-hmm.
be bad for creative mindset, because again we are talking about creativity, and the machine is not creative. It's like
Yeah.
binary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the
Mm-hmm.
point. In terms of career, so one thing that I can advise the people is, I think this is a very valuable advice in terms of whatever
Mm-hmm.
year, whatever season.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to understand about the basis about technology, because in the end of the day, and the cybersecurity hacking is easy. Like it's
Yeah.
easier. It's for me. It's
Yeah.
remember, I'm part of the journey yet. I'm
Yeah.
still
For sure.
learning, and but for me it's easier because the difficult way, and I mean the difficult things in terms of technology is to understand the whole things in terms of technology. Because for
Mm-hmm.
example, it's a simple like this in this conversation here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking, so you are watching me, so we have a voice, you have a video. So this came
Mm-hmm.
to this microphone over here, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any cable in this microphone, but it's connected by there's a cable, a USB
Mm-hmm.
in my machine.
Mm-hmm.
which is connected by a single IP address. My machine has another, which is internally IP address, which is, we have another external IP address, which is the router, which is communicate between to the network that go to outside my office here and go to the Milton. But we're recording using, for example, another platform. So we can see here many platforms involved with that. In the end of the day, so I need to understand each one of them. And when I understand those type of, applications, IP address, protocol, networks, or even system
Yeah.
operation, so I can think, okay, how I can break these things. So how I can intercept this conversation, how I can change the direction of this conversation. This type of things is about hacking. So in terms of career, if you like it, like if you like cyber, you should think about that. But what I
Yeah,
think I
for
need to
sure.
learn, Philip, I need to learn those basics about every single thing in terms of technology,
Yes,
because
I,
this is
I, I
necessary.
yes, I have the same thought about that. Uh, I'm seeing a lot of people moving to cybersecurity, but without two bases of, for example, network and really basic things. And sometimes when you basically try to dive into cybersecurity, you feel like, okay, you feel a lot of difficult, because that's really strand. You try to go inside the battleground without to know the basis. It's like you
Hmm.
said, network protocols and stuff like that. And this is, to me, that's okay. Cybersecurity right now, it's really sexy. Yeah, all the
Hmm.
people like to talk about cybersecurity, but
Mainly
a lot of
offensive
people.
security.
Yeah, sure. And but the same part of people don't like to study the basic,
Hmm.
don't like to know about the basics. And to me, that's really because I'm not started with cybersecurity in my in my time. I think that in your time as well, cybersecurity don't exist. People usually say, in Portuguese, segurança da informação.
Yeah.
Always say that, yeah, or security information.
Yeah,
But
infosec. Yeah.
exactly, information security, security information, and yes, whatever. And then right now, basically, you but there's another block inside, that's called uh, cybersecurity, where you need to protect devices, you need to protect assets. And then, but people behind that don't have this concern to really
Hmm.
to understand how this work, like you said. And yeah, that's it. That's really interesting. And I have another questions for you. In June, in 2026, we have our Hackers Behind the Code conference.
Hmm.
um, you will be a speaker there, and
Oh,
let me know
really?
if you are
I know that.
yeah, let me know if you are excited for this moment, this fucking moment.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, we'll be the first edition, I think, right?
Yeah.
I'm super excited with that, of course, because
Yeah.
first will happen here in Portugal, that which is amazing, because I think our community here in Portugal really needs the conference like this, and the lineup of speakers is amazing. I have
Yeah.
a very many friends of mine who are speaking, which is very
Mm-hmm.
cool. Yuri, Teresa, Jefferson from Brazil, the other guys from
Weasley.
Weasley,
Yeah.
exactly. So there are a bunch of guys, very, very, strong guys in terms of cyber. So
Mm-hmm.
we can see different topics of talk in terms of ideas of cyber. So that's for me is interesting because the lineup is interesting about different topics. It's not exactly one single topic. And by the way, my
Yeah.
talk I try to combine different things. One is about threats. When you talk about like malware things, so we sometimes you go to the reverse engineer stacks or something involved with that. But my idea would
Mm-hmm.
be like, okay, when you get the malware, when you get information from the malware, how you can using this for the investigation perspective, using
Yeah.
for the OSINT, open source intelligence
Mm-hmm.
perspective. So my
Yeah.
idea during the presentation will be totally as you see, as you saw actually
Mm-hmm.
at the besides Porto last year. So we have
Mm-hmm.
a spot during the talk, and I just pick
Yeah.
up my laptop and I went there, and I have a
Yeah.
few hours there.
Was really amazing, bro.
It
Was
was
that's really
I didn't
well really
prepare
crazy.
anything because I should be there. I should not be there in the because I'm the organizer of Besides Porto. But
Mm-hmm.
one of our speakers, she spoke very fast. It was a short talk, let's say. It's a
Mm-hmm.
light talk, and we had a very long time. So I just to fill this empty spot, I opened my laptop and I made the presentations in real time. So that's what
Yeah.
will be the point that I will do during the conference. I will download probably 2 or 3 days before the conference, some hours from the Malware Bazaar, and let's see what happens. That's it. I think because in the end of the day, to put in practical ways, and that's my main takes for conference, because I don't want to be, known as okay, Philip is a wow, amazing speaker, and next
Mm-hmm.
Monday they cannot apply their job. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
is not enough.
Yeah.
I want to see those guys using this example in the real job, in their job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when they receive in a package, when they receive in a sample, when they receive in a document. So how is the next step? I want to
Mm-hmm.
be recognized in this way. Okay, oh, Felipe brings
Mm-hmm.
here to us something that is very valuable for us
Mm-hmm.
next Monday. I'll be recognized as this guy, the guy from the next Monday.
Yeah, to me, really, really makes sense. And before we wrap up, there are a couple of final questions that I ask every guest on the show. This, let's say, are less about technology and more about mindset. And if you could leave one message for the global security community listen to this episode, what would you that this message be?
I think the main message that I would like to share with those guys is respect your journey. I love this because we want to we want to go fast. It's normal about
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, in terms of family, in terms of job, in terms of wherever, in terms of career, everything. You
Mm-hmm.
want to be fast, and mainly after the pandemic, we explode many things in terms of career. But like I'm talking to you right now, and to
Mm-hmm.
be there as a speaker in the main conference at the global, as you said, for me is I'm super proud of myself because I'm a speaker at Black Hat DEFCON, like many B sides in the world.
Yeah,
So, but
for
I
sure.
just got this because of 15 years, not 15 days, not and even 1 month and a half. No, it was 15 years, man. So it's a journey,
Yeah,
as we are talking. So the message is respect your journey, and another word, enjoy this journey because it's enjoyable. We can
exactly,
enjoy,
exactly.
and that's it's one day by day. Enjoy everything and respect the journey.
Yeah, exactly. Enjoy the process. I
Yeah.
all the time say enjoy the process. Try to love the process. Yes, I think this is yeah, I think this is my phrase. Enjoy the process. And Philippe, thank you so much for this conversation. Thank you for sharing your experience, your honesty, and your perspective. Not just as a researcher or Reddit teamer, but as a human behind this work. This conversation, to me, it's exactly what Behind the Code is about. And to everything listen or watching, this was the first episode of the season 2. Many more conversations are coming with people who live and breathe security from the inside out. If you if you enjoyed this episode, follow this project, share with your
For
community,
sure.
and keep the conversations going. Uh, Stay curious and keeping hacking behind the code. And please, Philip, say something to close this fucking first episode.
Yeah, thank you again for having me here. It was a pleasure, to talk more about the things during this conversation about community and about mindset, about lifestyle. I think that's the reason that we are here, to think about off the box, to think, because in the end of the day, hacking is about that, how you can see something
Mm-hmm.
and think out of the box. So that's the reason that we are here. Try to be kind with the people and to helping people, of course, because when you help some people, you can learn with that in the journey. And once again, respect the journey and enjoy the journey, because you get there. Definitely, you get there.
Yeah. Thank you again. Thank you. I really appreciate your time. And please subscribe to this channel. You can find all I you put all social medias Felipe on below this episode, and you can connect with please connect with him in LinkedIn and another Instagram, I think so. You can connect with him in many social networks, and stay tuned to the next fucking hacking episodes to R19.io podcast. See you next time. Bye.
See you. Bye bye.